also available. So as you come into standing and pondering those sticks of legs, how they intersect into the hip. So you have a big bump on the outer hip, that's the greater trochanter. The greater trochanter, the outer hip. And as women, we get in trouble here. This big bump that you feel on the outer hip. And that's where if we have greater trochanteric bursitis, the iliotibia band is getting caught on the outer hip. If you lay on the side and there is tension and irritation, well, greater trochanteric bursitis may be what's going on there. Take your hands to your front hip points. Just the index fingers and then the thumbs on your back hip points. So these are, we're now tracing the ilium coming around, and ideally the front and the back are about the same height. And sometimes if we are standing with a tendency to be more anterior, forward tilting, because there may be some tightness in the hip flexors, because we sit down a lot right now, it seems. So they get shortened. We may also have the adverse. Some people just stand like this, they're kind of hanging out in the front hip flexors, where the back has dropped. So as you go back and forth, how much mobility is there with ease? So this is when we do the flattening and arching movement that we are restoring here. Likewise, from side to side, lift the right heel up and lower it down. Lift the left heel up. Keep the knees straight. And you may find that one side lifts a whole lot easier than the other. You're like, well, what happened there? So we know there's something going on in the inner obliques and also the hip flexors. So we'll sort those out today too. Let's come onto our back and get this exciting event started. I invite you, before you bend up the knees, just come into a straight leg, sort of a sloppy shavasana. Notice how much do the legs turn out. Also notice, do they turn out evenly? We may have more mobility on one side than the other as far as the hips go in rotation. Also notice how much of your sacrum is touching the floor. Are you rolling more towards the tailbone? Or are you laying flatter so you're more towards the top of the sacrum? Take your hands to your hip points again. And just wiggle a little bit. Depress one side, so you're sort of rocking from side to side. Just creating a little bit more of mobility and loosening up. And now, I think we're ready to start in on the breath. We're going to bend up the knees. When we bend up the knees like this, it puts the psoas on a slack, the mighty psoas that connects spine to our legs. So if that's a little off balance, everything is going to be off balance. Let's place the hands on the belly. And begin to check in with your breath. Invite it into the belly as you breathe in. And then slowly exhale. Breathing in, belly expands. And breathing out, belly relaxes down towards the spine. And of course, we're not really breathing into the belly. What we are doing is putting tension on the diaphragm muscle so that it flattens out, creates more space for the lower part of the lungs to expand. And then as you slowly exhale, now we hold the tone on the diaphragm, strengthening it and deepening the breath. As you inhale, also invite the breath down into your pelvis, into the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, feel how the pelvis also contracts slightly. Everything cinches in a little bit. All the joints open up as you breathe in. Pelvic floor relaxes. And as you exhale, everything draws in. Following the breath into your body, the expansion, and follow the breath out, feeling how your body gently contracts towards center to facilitate the out-breath. If there is tension in the body, we can't take a full breath in. On your next exhalation, draw the tailbone up. That is a weird cue, I know, like a little antenna drawing upward. That begins to add a little bit more conscious tone on the pelvic floor. Everything relaxes on the in-breath. And exhale. Tailbone draws up. It's not really moving, but we're getting the muscles right around the tailbone to engage and beginning to create the Mula Bandha action, creating stability of the pelvic floor. Mula Bandha and Kegels are not the same, though similar. But it is the action of the tailbone, those deeper layers. Then add to that more conscious consolidation of the pelvic floor, drawing up. And then let everything release. So let's add these concepts to our arch and flatten. I invite you to release your hands, relax your arms wherever it is comfortable. And then as you inhale, we move into the arch. Everything expands. Exhale, floating back to neutral. Actions of the pelvic floor included tailbone. Let's take a breath in for nothing, a diaphragmatic breath. And now exhale, again, Mula Bandha, but also as you flatten, the lower abdomen draws in and up, draws in and up. As you inhale, letting that release, full breath in. And then we take a breath out for nothing. And inhale, arch again. Rolling over the sacrum to the tailbone. Muscles on the lumbar spine engages. Exhale, flowing back. Breath in for nothing. And flattening. Tailbone draws up, pelvic floor engages, lower abdomen in and up. Slowly release. Let's do it one more time. Breath in for nothing. Sorry, breath out for nothing, my bad. So we'll scratch that all around. When you're ready, inhale and arch. Everything expands, not just belly, but pelvic floor. Exhale. Roll it back. Neutral. Use the bandhas, mula bandha. Breath in for nothing. Everything releases. And exhale. Flattening as you engage the pelvic floor. And we inhale and release back to neutral. Let's slide the legs out and pause. Pause, notice the breath, and also notice if maybe your position has changed on where you're resting on the sacrum. It may have, it may not. We haven't done a lot with the hip flexors yet. Adding a little bit of a rotation. Well, first, actually, we're going, yes, hip rotation. Bend the knees up again. And we'll add it with the arcs and curls today. Knees bend up, interlace the hands behind the head. And a reminder, always remember, if something hurts, back off, back off, back off. Walk the feet close together. They may have just a teeny little bit of space. You will figure out what is going to be the right distance for you. But as we inhale, we're going to arch again. Exhale, flattening the low back. Draw the elbows together, curling up. Squeeze the legs together. Squeeze the legs together. Inhale, keep the legs together as you slowly release the head to the floor. Relift the elbows, shoulders, and then inhale. Now fanning out elbows and knees. Elbows and knees. Take a buffer breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, arch. We get a little bit more separation of the knees. Exhale, everything draws in towards center line, curling up. Draw the legs together, squeeze them center. Inhale, slowly release the head down. Squeeze, re-squeeze legs, lift the elbows, and then everything fans out. Slowly and easy. Ones all the way down. Take a buffer breath. Inhale, let's arch. Exhale. Draw elbows and knees together. Last one. Squeezing everything towards center line, curling up. Slowly release. Head down. Relifting elbows. And inhale. Everything slowly releases down. And once down, let's slide the legs out. Keep the hands behind the head. And then push out through your right heel. Push out through the right heel. Very similar to what we did standing. And exhale. Let that go. Push out through the left heel. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale. We return to center. Let's do that one more time. Right heel lengthens away, the whole side opens. Releasing back to neutral. Left heel. And back to neutral. Slide the right elbow back. And return back to neutral. Left elbow. Back to neutral. One more time, sliding the right elbow back. Let your head turn as you do so, looking up towards the elbow. We return home. Again on the left. Back home. And now let's combine. Right heel and right elbow travels away from each other. And we return back. Left side. Returning back. Moving from side to side at a pace that is comfortable. Pause when you need to. Let's do it one more time. And as you come back to center, relaxing the arms, relax the legs, let everything cool. Notice right side and left side. Notice the breath. And then from here, the mighty psoas. Let's bend up the left leg. Bending up the left leg. So the psoas, P-S-O-A-S. It is as hard to find in the dictionary as it is to sense it in the body. Let your right leg roll out to the side. Now take your right hand right up to where your ribs comes together, solar plexus. So you're just a wee bit above your belly button. That is where the psoas starts. So from this point, trace it all the way down to the greater trochanter. Right on the inside of the greater trochanter, we have the lesser trochanter. You can find your outer hip point. Now you know the length of your psoas. So it has both an upper attachment, T12, thoracic vertebrae 12 is also where the diaphragm attaches, and also the thigh bone. So if you look at your right arm, from elbow to wrist, that's about the length of your psoas, and the size of your wrist is about the size of your psoas. It's pretty darn massive. That's in there. The other name for psoas is tenderloin. So it gets a who knew? So it's a prized piece, but it sits deep in there, and boy, do they get tight. So now let's work a little bit with this massive event. Take a breath in for nothing. Exhale, flattening the low back, and then lift your right leg up. About 5-6 inches, not a big event, 5-6 inches. Reach out through your right big toe mound and then slowly lower the leg down. Slowly lower the leg down. So now we are holding the tension on the psoas. Keep the low back flattened to the floor. Keep the low back flattened to the floor as you lower down as slowly as you can. Once the leg is down, let's take a buffer breath. Let everything relax. And then we're going to repeat. Take a breath in for nothing. Flattening the low back. Lift your right leg up. So toes are pointing out to the sides a wee bit. And now as slowly as you can, maybe an 8 count. you lower down. It can take more than one breath cycle. Keep the leg long and strong, reaching out, reaching out, reaching out. Low back is flat. It's flat. Once it's down, let it pool. Everything relax. Slide your left leg out. And bend up your right leg. Again, let the left leg roll out to the sides so that it's turned over maybe about 45 degrees-ish. Think of the attachment, solar plexus. That's what we anchor it down as we exhale and flatten the low back. Lifting the left leg 5-6 inches, not a big lift. We don't want to invite the hip flexors, the quadriceps to participate. And then slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. Keep your low back flat to the floor as you lower down. Slowly, 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 slowly. Once it's down, everything pools. Everything pools. We're going to do that one again. Breath in for nothing. Exhale, flattening. Lift the left leg. Keep the low back down. And as you exhale, think about stretching the left leg out a little bit longer, as if there was a button right beyond reach of your foot. And you're just trying to get your toe out on that button as you lower down. Longer, longer, longer. And eventually you will make landfall. Once down, release the tension on the psoas. Let's slide right leg out. Just pause here. Notice sensation across the pelvis, the lower abdomen. Maybe it feels just a little bit more spacious, and maybe there's absolutely no change at all. We're going to come onto the belly. We're rolling onto the belly. Take your right hand up, right arm up, left arm down alongside the body. And rest your head either with your left cheek on your right hand or head straight down, if that feels better for you. So we're just going to visit a little bit with the relationship between the hips and the head. As you inhale, lift the head, look over your right shoulder. Now let your hips be a little jiggy. You can feel this muscle all the way down to the sacrum. And then slowly releasing down. Sacrum and skull connects. Everything pulls. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift the head, look over the right shoulder. Slowly releasing down. Buffer breath. And one more time. Lift the head, looking over the shoulder. And then slowly lower down. Now we'll isolate and just do the leg. So the left leg. As you inhale, lift the left leg up. Keep the knee straight. And slowly lower down. You feel the big glute, gluteus maximus, helping out. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower the down. So the glutes and also your upper hamstring is contracting. That's worth repeating. Inhale, lifting the left leg. So now the hips are pressing down. And slowly as you can, lowering down. Let's do one more breath. When you're ready, left leg lifts. And slowly, slowly, slowly. How slow can you make it? Now, since we're here, it would be a pity not to do the Big Lebowski. I love your helper, Janice. All right, now we're gonna lift the right arm, head, and left leg. On the in-breath, lifting up diagonally, pressing the hips down, lifting up. Lift, 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 lift. And then slowly, 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 down we come. Everything pulls. And we repeat. Inhale, lifting, head, arm, opposite leg. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Lowering down. How slow can you go? How slow can you go? The slower you go, the faster you'll get there. And let's switch to the other side. So now, head turn to the left, right arm down along the side. Let's inhale and just lift the head, look over the left shoulder. Look over the left shoulder. Let your hips lift up a little bit. And then slowly, 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 releasing down. Take a buffer breath. And we repeat. Lift the head. Don't use your left arm to press down. Let the head come up on its own accord. Lowering down. Buffer breath.
Anne, are we lifting our arm as well?
No,
just
no,
our
just the head. Thank you, Sally. Just the head.
Okay.
There is a movement where we lift the whole bit. That comes next week. But today, just the head. And the reason for that is because I want you to feel when you lift the head without the arm and let the hips be a little lifted, it'll be light. That is an important connection between the sacrum and the head. This muscle goes all the way up the back, the erector spinae. And once we add the arm to that, we won't be able to feel that. So we'll do that 3 times total. Just the head lift, just the head lift. Can you connect the head to the sacrum? Can you feel both ends lighting up and then relaxing as you lower down? So 3 times on the head. Now let's add the right leg, right leg. So now the hips have to spike down, stay down as you inhale and lift the right leg up. And slowly, 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 lowering down. And you may feel a little bit of excitement both in your glute, but also in the upper hamstring, the upper back thigh. Lifting again. Good, Raylan. Here you are again. Lifting right leg. And slowly, slowly lowering down. Buffer breath. And again. Contracting glutes, contracting upper hamstring. Leg lift. And we lower back down. But now on this one here, we do take the arm up with us. On the last one, the Big Lebowski. When you're ready, inhaling, left arm, head, right leg. Slowly, 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 lowering down. Take a buffer breath. And again, lifting. Arm, head, leg, as slowly as you can. Easy and steady. Coming down. Notice those jumps and jitters. That's where we're really retraining. And then from here, take the right arm overhead and just roll onto your right side. Bend up the knees. Take the left leg out in front. Left leg out in front. And your left hand can just rest on the floor, on the hip, wherever is comfortable. So this is the crowd cleats, the iliotibia band that attaches to the ilium, to the pelvis, and goes all the way down below the knee. When that booger is tight, the outer hips becomes the victim. Now pull the hips back a little bit. Pull the hips back. So it's almost like you're arching the spine. One hip on top of the other. So notice if you're also collapsing onto the side, can you keep a little bit of space under your right waist? A little bit of space under the right waist. And now inhale, lift the left leg up about a foot, maybe not as high. And you feel the whole band getting all excited. We're going to count it down on 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Let everything pool. Almost all our mobility is forward. So one thing that I do when I walk sideways. Not the whole time because my neighbors would think I'm really funny. But I do alternate. I'll do like 50 steps sideways. I'll alter sides so that I'm working the side line and muscles of my legs and hips for hip stability. Let's do it one more time. As you inhale, let's take the leg up. And everything has to help out here. And we're going to count it down from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down it is. We're going to roll on to the back. And just pause here for a second and feel that. Another way you can work on this outer seam, if you have stairs, is go sideways up and down your steps. It's really good for your hips. And you're not going to have as many people thinking you're weird when you do that. Notice how one hip lays in relationship to the other on the mat. Maybe there's just a little bit more space on that side. I know there is for me. So I suggest we roll over onto the right side. Bend the knees up, 90-90-ish. And then we take the leg out in front. The reason we have to do it with flexion as opposed to a straight leg is because the little dude, tensor fasciae latae, is it only activates when the hip is flexed. So if the leg is straight, we ain't using it, and that's really the one we want to have a chat with. Let's do it one more time. Inhaling, lift, top leg. Now notice, is this side easier or harder? There's a difference. We're going to count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. So remember, when you repeat this on your own, start on the side that's easy. Start on the side that's easy and let that tutor the side that needs a little bit more help. Let's do it again. When you're ready, we're going to lift top leg, right leg up, and then slowly on 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are all the way down. That one, only do twice. It's a long lever coming onto the back body again. And let's straighten the legs out. Notice how your legs rest on the mat. Your sacrum. Notice your breath. Bending up the knees again. Hook the right leg over the left. Hook the right leg over the left. Let's take the arms out to the side, out to the side. And then slowly release the knees down to the right. Nose goes to the left. And exhale, up again. Moving with your breath. Back and forth. Releasing down. Exhaling up. So there is an arch and flatten inherent in this movement. As you inhale and go down, let the low back arch. And as you exhale up, flattening, you're using the lower abdominal muscles to help you come up. And we'll do that one more time. And as you come up, switching to the other side. Nose opposite of knees. Notice when it changes from a release sense to a stretchy sense. That's when you want to stop, come up again, and then go back down again. So we release, but don't stretch, which is a really interesting different to ponder. We move the release bar a little bit further each time we go down. And you may not come all the way up between each. Come up a little bit, go down again, come up a little bit, go down again. Up and down, dipping to the left. Next time you come up, let's release the legs. Side by side. Now releasing your right knee to the right side. Now it's pure abduction rotation. Back to center. Releasing down. Lifting up. Knee goes to the side, the right side. Get half bound angle pose from yoga. Should your knee lay flat on the ground? Not unless you have a severe case of hip dysplasia. Where the hip points are placed in relationship to the pelvis is going to make a difference in our hip mobility. Let's ponder the other side. Lowering down, lifting up. As you lower the knee down, now we are contracting the sacral joint. As you lift it up, we are using the deep hip flexors to facilitate this. So there's a dialogue going on between the back side and the front. For knee thingies, all of these hip movements are fantastic. I hear the great Terry Brown goes, we don't have knees, we do have hips. So keep your hip mobility full on, and your knees are going to be so happy for it. Now, as you come up to center, with the legs together, do another little movement for the sacrum. Let the arms come out to the side, maybe slightly higher than the shoulders, slightly higher than the shoulders. Hike the right hip up towards your right shoulder, and then slowly releasing it down. Hike the left hip up. Slowly release. It's like your sacrum is the center of the record on a record player. Your hips, your pelvis is the record, and it's just dialing I guess this is a rap song. Slowly release, go in the other direction. I don't know if it's a rap song. What do they call those things where they turn the records different directions? We are again working on the sacral joint in particular and its relationship to the lumbar spine. Next time you draw up through the right hip, so the right hip is pulling up towards the right shoulder. Reach the left arm back. Reach the left arm back a little bit. Returning to neutral. Other side. Left hip hikes up. Right arm slides back further. Move just in a very easy way. Let the head just roll as it wants to. The element that's associated with the pelvis is water. So can you get it squishing all around? We want fluidity for ease of mobility. And then finishing up on the left side, slide the legs out. And arms down again. And we're at the grand finale. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite movements, the tree slide. So let the arms come out to the sides. Now here we put everything together from the entire session. Roll your right leg in, roll it out. Do that several times, just roll the leg in and out. As you roll the leg in, your sacral joint on your right opens. And as you roll it out, it closes. And sensing this. Also, next time you roll it out, let's begin to slide the foot up. Foot stays on the inside of the left leg. Slide it back out. Roll the leg in. Roll it out. Slide the foot up. Slide it back down. Rolling in. Rolling out. Sliding up. And then begin to take the knee across the center line. So now my right hip lifts up. Here's a little arch. Return the hip back down. Release the knee up to the side and slide the leg long. Roll the leg in, rolling it out, sliding up, dipping across. Nose opposite of knee as you draw across. Back to center. All the way back out. Sliding up, adding one last little bit as the knee draws across. Nose opposite of knee, roll your right arm up towards the head. And it rolls back down. Now we get the whole side seam. Do that a couple more times, the whole sequence from leg roll, sliding up, dipping across, roll the arm, back out, One more time. Fluid, easy. And oh, so juicy. Once you rest all the way out from this one, just pause for a second, pause for a moment, and just sense right side and left side. So I think we should do the left side. Let's begin by just rolling the leg in and out. Sensing everything that helps with this movement. Rolling in, rolling out. And then we begin to add the little tree slide. Leg rolls out, and we slide the foot up and slide it back out. Roll the leg in and rolling out, sliding up, back out. Easy peasy, fluid and easy. Dipping across. Hip lifts. Back down. Sliding out. Rolling in. Rolling out. Sliding up. Dipping across. Little arch. Releasing all the way out. And let's add the arm roll last. So leg slides up, dips across, left arm rolls up. And everything relaxes back home. And we repeat. Sliding up, dip across, nose opposite of knee, arm rolls. Letting the fascia gently release so that it fits. Last one. Once you slide left leg out, pausing, pulling, draw the legs together, interlace the fingers, draw the palms towards the sky, pressing out through big toe mount, little toe mount, in and out of heel. And let's take the arms overhead. They may not come to the ground, no problem. Take them as far as they go comfortably. Hug into the center line. Everything hugs into the center line. Inhale, take the arms back up. Switch the cross of the fingers. Press the palms to the sky. Inhale again, draw the arms overhead, tailbone to the heels. Consolidate along the midline, along the midline. And exhale, let's relax all of it. Now the legs separates out wider than the hips. Arms resting out from the body. 6, 8, 12 inches. Palms facing up. As you breathe in and out, can you sense the energy pulsing through your body? Sense of aliveness and wellness. prana, life force. When there is no tension in our body, then the life force is not siphoned out. It's just easier. So in this work, we support our wellness by releasing and restoring wellness. So releasing tension to restore wellness. Let's slowly bend up the knees. Rolling over onto one side. Let's pause here just for a moment. And we'll use our top hand to press down to help us come all the way up into a seated posture. Now I invite you to stand up and stand on your legs and see how they feel. I will unmute you all. Walk around a little bit and do the little heel lift again. What changed?